For this video, I'm using the LK Chen Shuang Dao. It's based off of the New Way Dao design in an antique pair from the Qing dynasty. You can find out more information at lkchensword.com. Check it out in the link in the description down below. Hey, what's up? It's Sifu Kuttel, and in this video we are going to be doing a downward flowering technique with the Seung Dao, or double broadswords. Now, the way I set this video up is to be pretty comprehensive. So we're going from just a single hand figure eight, and then we're going to be working on crossing the arms, unwinding, and then being able to do this from one side to the other, as well as understanding the attacking version or application of this where we have 3 strikes. So check the time code down below. If you feel confident in your technique, you can move up and jump ahead a little bit and see what you can pick up out of this lesson. All right, so one last thing, make sure you have something safe to train with and practice with. Never use swords, especially live edge swords, while you're learning this. In the learning phase, there's way too many chances of accident. You should be very, very confident in your technique to where you don't have to think of any part of it before you even attempt using a metal sword. So I do suggest you use wooden sticks or even foam batons while you're learning this. Okay, so grab your stuff, let's go get to work. Now, before we get into the double weapons doing a downward flower, you need to be able to do a single figure eight with both hands. So this is actually quite simple. Most times anybody can pick up a stick or a sword, and this is probably the most natural thing that they'll do as a continuous motion. Now, it's quite simple in itself. We're doing 2 diagonal downward cuts. So I'm going to be cutting down, I'm going to flip the blade over, and then cut down again. Again, here, if I use the other hand, I'm cutting down and across. The blade, the tip of the blade is leading, or the edge of the blade is leading, and then I'm going to flip it over, and then now the blade edge is leading. I'm cutting into it. Now, if any part of the sword itself is leading, it's actually the pommel. So whenever we do anything like this, the pommel should be first, the bottom of the sword before the blade. And then here, the bottom of the sword before the blade. This gives us good slicing range, as well as it actually sets us up for a good flowering technique. Okay? Now, once you can do that with our big double cut, make sure you can do this with both hands. I want you to be able to narrow it down so it's just the wrist doing this motion. And it's 1 to each side. 1 flip, 1 flip, 1 flip, 1 flip, 1 flip. And then we're ready to move on to the next part. Okay, now let's get into using both of the swords. We're not going to jump all the way in. We're going to make this kind of a nice, smooth transition into some very fancy movement. So the first thing I want you to do is take your swords, and we're going to bring one sword over the other, and then bring the hands in so that we're quite far apart with the swords now. My hand should be over my other arm's elbow, okay? And then likewise, that elbow should be over my other arm's hand, okay? And we'll just keep it level here. We're going to bring it up and around, extend the swords out, and then we just change. So now my other hand is on top, my other hand is underneath. We're at hand at the elbow. And again, open, close, open, close. This doesn't go too far in front of the body. You can see I start extending the blades forward. That's because I don't want to risk hitting the ground. So a little bit forward is okay. And then again, when we end, we're going to end with the blade edge forward. Okay, almost this. We're going to do a double cut here. So we open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. This is about the speed that you want before we move on to the next part. You should be very, very comfortable in doing this. All right, now this is going to be just a small adjustment from our last technique of opening and closing, except for this time we're going to make sure that we move with the blade edge forward, and this means with both blades. So let's begin with the arms crossed over the other. Now, whatever hand is on top is going to be our lead. So I want to turn this blade edge so that it's ready to chop downward towards the other side. Now, at that same time, the direction of the hand, I want to turn my other hand so it's also ready to cut. So now instead of keeping the blades flat, they are ready to act. So I can almost think of this one as a beginning cut. So here I cut, and then as I bring the blade over, I'm going to cut one more time as I come down here, okay? Now from here, once we change directions, I would be using the spine of the sword, so we want to make sure we turn our palms around. Okay, so again, my path of motion is my direction of motion with both blades. I want to turn the blade edge in that direction. And then now I have 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then now from here, we can flatten it out, get our blades ready in the direction of motion. We have our 1, 2, 3. Turn your blades. And then you can even bring it in a little bit, make this even more of a pronounced cut. 1, 2, 3, turn, 1, 2, 3, turn, 1, 2, 3, turn, 1, 2, 3, turn, and then we cut 1, 2, 3, turn, 1, 2, 3, turn, 1, 2, 3. Now that you're able to do those 3 cuts in front of the body, we want to make this a continuation or a continuous motion. So we want to be able to do this from one side of the body to the other side of the body. Okay? Now, what makes this difficult is we are going to be alternating which hand is on top. So it will be switching depending on which side of the body we're turning to. And so for this part of the video, I want you to just focus on one side in particular. So now I'm going to turn to the side, I'm going to extend both blades out, and then I'm going to be leading with my right hand. The first thing I'm going to do is jump over the top, okay? So now my right hand crosses over my left hand. This will initiate almost pretty much a first cut, but from here I'm crossing my arms. Now I'm going to continue downward. The other blade will follow. I'm going to unwind, and then I'm going to continue this motion to cross again. Now I'm just going to stay in front or on the side of my body here and then bring my blade back. So I cut down, follow, open, cut down, and then cross. Okay? And then I let my other blade sit in my armpit. Okay? So again, I jump over, I cut down, I cross my arms, I unwind, and I cross them again, similar to what we did before. Again, I jump over, cross, unwind, cross. Again, if I'm facing towards you, I jump over, cross, unwind, cross. Now, as you're learning these motions, don't worry too much about where your blade edge is pointing. We can get into that a little bit more later. The first part is understanding the motion and getting comfortable with the arms moving in this motion. So again, jump over, cross, unwind, cross. And again, this is all happening on the side of my body. So I cross, unwind, cross. It's all here. It's not crossing that center line except for when I jump over it first. Okay? Again, jump over, cross, unwind, cross. Again, jump over, cross, unwind, cross. Last time, jump over, cross, unwind, cross. And when you can do it at this speed, this is a good time to now try the other side. So now, I'll face the other way so you can do it as well with me. We're going to take our left hand and we're going to jump over, again, go over your other blade, crossing here, bringing it down. Now that's going to turn your upper body a little bit. Don't move your feet. We cross, unwind, and cross. I should end up with my right hand pointing forward, my left hand in my armpit, and the blade edge pointing outward. I don't want to try to cut myself on this one. I need to keep that in a safe position. So again, I jump over, cross, bring it down, continue the motion, unwind, continuing the motion, cross. Again, jumping over, cross, unwind, cross. Again, jumping over, down, let it continue, follow. If I'm facing towards this corner, I'm going to jump over, cross, unwind, cross. As you get more and more comfortable with this, pay attention to that blade edge, cutting down, cutting down, cutting down, cutting down. Okay, so there's those 4 cuts. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. If we're just isolating this technique, this may get confusing later on, so I don't really want to count too much on this one. Just think cross, unwind, cross. Again, jump over, so we cross, unwind, cross. Again, jumping over, cross, unwind, cross. And then you want to move a little bit faster. So jump over, cross, unwind, cross. Notice I don't rush on jumping over. I just get my blade over the top. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay. Again, up and over, cross, unwind, cross. Again, up and over, cross, unwind, cross. Okay, now it's time to combine from one side to the other. Now, if you've been counting your cuts, we've been doing a 4 count when we jump over 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where it's going to change because we will actually take one of those out because that is already beginning the cut for the next side, and this is our jumping over cut. So this is where it can be a little bit tricky. If you've been counting, hopefully you haven't, but if you have, just have some patience with yourself. You'll get over this, you'll get used to this counting method again. So what we're going to be doing is cutting 1, 2, 3, and then we'll jump. This is our jumping over. This will now cut 1, follow up from behind, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, don't worry about jumping straight in for that. It's really the way that we can combine from one side to the other that makes this a little bit easier. So let's start by first jumping over. And when we do this, at the same time as I jump over with my right hand, I'm going to take my left hand and bring it back. Okay, so now my left hand is ready to follow. It's going to be right hand over left. Now left hand, as I turn, I'm going to cut at the same time. So I cut right, cut left, and then now I unwind, cut right. And you can just think of ending it there. The key to transition from this side is to continue your right hand on the same side. I don't cross the body until my left hand comes up and over. So now my left hand has crossed over the top, left, right follows, and then now left. Now the thing is, once my left hand is here, I need to wind up again. So cross, turn the upper body, unwind, 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 cross. Okay, this cross will allow us, when we turn the upper body, we turn across to the side, unwind, cross, turn, finish the cut, unwind, cross, turn the upper body, unwind, cross. You can keep it on the side at first, that's fine if this makes it easier for you. Turn the upper body, unwind, cross. Notice all of this happens on the same side of the body, and then when I turn, it happens on the other side of the body. So again, I can cross, unwind, cross. Turn the upper body, unwind, cross. Turn the upper body, unwind, cross. Turn the upper body. And as you get comfortable, it's going to be our hand that's coming up over the top. As we cross, this is what's going to lead us to the other side. So now I cross up, I'm crossing and I'm cutting, unwind, and now the other hand is getting ready to cross and turn the body. Unwind, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, keep it there, 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 1, 2, 3. And as you get more and more comfortable with that, we can tighten this up so it's just at the wrists. But whatever hand is coming across the body, whatever is going to lead, that hand always comes over the top. Okay, so there you have it. As you can see, there's a lot of different ways that we can work up into this, and each way gives you a nice perspective of really like a small slice of this technique. So when we're working from this cross, unwind, cross, this is really essential not just for this flower, but for many other flowers that we will work on with Seung Dao. It just depends on the timing in the technique. As well as it's really nice to be able to see how we can actually get our cut timing on these with 3 cuts per side. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Don't forget to check out the rest of the playlist. There's a lot that we're doing working on Seung Dao, from techniques to flowering, and there's a lot that you can learn. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.